Welcome to the Broadway.com show, filmed right here in the heart of Times Square. I'm Imogen Lloyd-Webber.
And I'm Paul Wontorek. Today we get the scoop on Fox's A Christmas Story Live. Head to the circus with the stars of The Greatest Showman, kick it with the Ladies of the Wolves, and more.
And later, Sean and Abigail Benson give us a glimpse at their folk punk musical 100 Days. But first, let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Paul?
Death Becomes Her, the 1992 film that wonders how far might women go to stay young and just how bad would a musical version of Sweet Bird of Youth be, has its eyes on Broadway. Universal Theatrical Group has announced it is developing a stage version of the dark comedy for Tony and Emmy Award winner Kristen Chenoweth. Chenoweth would play Madeline Ashton, the role created by Meryl Streep on screen, a vain actress who is introduced to a secret formula that makes her immortal. No casting has been mentioned for the title's two other juicy roles, Helen Sharp, Ashton's friend who yearns to get revenge on her, and Ernest Menville, the plastic surgeon that comes between them. No creative team or timeline has been announced, but come on, Universal, don't make us wait too long for this delicious idea.
Who could ever want to take revenge on sweet little Kristen Chenoweth?
Let's move on, shall we?
Head Over Heels, a new musical featuring the iconic songs of 80s favourites The Go-Go's, along with the solo hits of frontwoman Belinda Carlisle, will land on the main stem in the 2018-19 season. Co-produced by Gwyneth Paltrow, the Elizabethan love story turned on its head is first set to play San Francisco's Curran Theatre this coming April, directed by Michael Mayer. Also eyeing New York is Ain't Too Proud, the life and times of the Temptations. Des McAnuff is steering the show, which follows a band's journey from the streets of Detroit to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The production made its world premiere at Barclay Rep earlier this year and is heading to DC's Kennedy Center next June for a 5-week engagement. Heaven is a place on earth, and it's called Broadway.
Norma Rae, the 1979 hit film that made star Sally Field say, "You like me, you really like me," when she picked up an Oscar for her leading performance, might be heading to Broadway. Four-time Grammy Award winner Roseanne Cash, the daughter of music icon Johnny Cash, is working on a musical adaptation of the movie, which follows how a factory worker gets woke by the injustice she encounters on the job and decides to unionize her workplace. No further information is available on other creative team members or which lucky actress might get to play the title role.
Broadway loves unions.
And union organizers who can belt.
Hopefully, this isn't fake news. Alec Baldwin is considering turning his Donald Trump parody book, You Can't Spell America Without Me, into a solo show. Think Will Ferrell's 2009 Tony-nominated You're Welcome America, A Final Night with George W. Bush. The production will be produced by SNL legend Lorne Michaels, who's bringing Tina Fey's marvelous Mean Girls to Broadway this spring. Baldwin, of course, has been playing Trump on SNL since September 2016, scoring an Emmy Award and an angry tweet or two in the process.
Do you think the president will come see it?
Not a chance, but the winner of the popular vote is a Broadway regular.
Adam Driver, who can be seen in movie theaters around the world right now in Star Wars: The Last Jedi, is planning a Broadway return. The three-time Girls Emmy Award nominee, who got his start on the stage, will headline a 2019 revival of Lanford Wilson's well-loved play Burn This, under the direction of Tony winner Michael Mayer. The sexy drama premiered on Broadway in 1987, starring John Malkovich and Joan Allen, and was once set to return in 2017 with Mayer directing Jake Gyllenhaal in the lead role of fiery restaurant manager Pale. Now Gyllenhaal is out and Driver is in. No word on who will play Pale's lover, modern dancer Anna, but stay tuned for more info in the coming year.
The Greatest Showman hits this show in a few minutes and will also be centre stage at the Golden Globes. Tony winners Hugh Jackman, Benj Pasek and Justin Paul all received nominations for the P.T. Barnum movie musical, which additionally landed a nod for Best Motion Picture Musical Comedy. Other stage favourites to garner recognition from the Hollywood Foreign Press included Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, Jessica Lange for Feud, Helen Mirren for The Leisure Seeker and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. Plus, there was recognition for Broadway scribes Mark Shaman, Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez. The ceremony is scheduled to take place on January the 7th.
When we come back, we chat with The Greatest Showman's Hugh Jackman, meet Elf's Eric Gratton, and more.
This week on Broadway.com, Philippa Sue of The Parisian Woman visits Show People, new Anastasia star Max von Essen on Side by Side, and an interview with Sam Crane making his Broadway debut in Farinelli and the King.
Hi, I'm John Lithgow, and my Broadway show, Stories by Heart, is the perfect holiday gift for any of your loved ones. Your parents, your friends, even your second cousin Eddie, who you never know how to shop for. I have universal appeal.
Hi, I'm Chris Diamantopoulos, and I'm performing in A Christmas Story Live on Fox December 17th, and you are watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome back. The Greatest Showman, the Hugh Jackman-led movie musical about circus pioneer P.T. Barnum, will hit movie theatres just in time for Christmas. I sat down with Jackman, as well as stars Zac Efron, Zendaya, Kiala Settle, and award-winning songwriters Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, ahead of the release to discuss bringing Jackman's longtime passion project to the big screen. This is obviously a massive passion project for you. What was it about P.T. Barnum that made you sort of determined to bring him to the big screen?
For me, musicals really often work best when you have larger-than-life characters. You have a story that involves a lot of themes of imagination, of dream. You're in the world of showbiz. It felt like the perfect kind of character.
P.T. Barnum was an innovator. He was ahead of his time. He was the Steve Jobs of his time, or the Jay-Z of his time. You know, these impresarios.
The world of P.T. Barnum, the oddities. Well, it was the 1800s. It was a very tough way of living back then. There was a lot that would bring people down, and he wanted to create entertainment. Not that was exclusive, but was for the masses. And he did so by putting together this group of oddities. And I'm sure he started off by doing it just to make money. But as time went on, he realized that he didn't just take these people who were invisible to society and put them into the spotlight and turn them into stars, but he actually made them feel love for the first time in their lives.
And I love the theme in this of what he did back then with his show, of including people, of bringing people out of the shadows, of celebrating difference, was something that I thought really would speak to now.
So what did you love about playing your characters who are in love?
It's just fun. It's fun. It's fun. I mean, what's better than playing like star-crossed forbidden love in a musical? It's kind of the pinnacle of all feelings. It's pretty cool.
Talk to me about your oddity. I mean, talk about taking on an iconic role.
I know, it's crazy! It was and still is. It's kind of something that I still look back on like it was 1,000 years ago, but it feels like it that I didn't do. It just, I got out of the way and this character came alive. And something in me had to sort of step up to the plate to carry it and be that vessel for it. And I learned a lot about myself in the process. And the only way that I could do that, I kid you not, had it not been for all the time and the grateful opportunities I've had on Broadway, there's no way I would have gotten through this film at all. There was so much discipline involved and so much determination that had to be filtered through that character, and that came from Broadway.
We rehearsed this very much like a Broadway show. I mean, we got every number down to where we didn't want to waste any film. We wanted to nail it first take on the day, as if we could run it through as a Broadway production. We never got quite there, but we got as close as we could.
So tell me, do you want to go where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night?
The idea that Hugh Jackman would ever sing a song of ours was like crazy. And we remember being in the studio with him for the very first time, meeting him there and hearing him sing, and we were trying to like not lose our cool, but we would be like, okay, Hugh, can we try it again? And then like privately freaking out that he was singing. He's such an incredible, as you know, song and dance man. He really is the song and dance man of our time, and getting to see him interpret our work is incredible.
You fall in love with the musical because of the music. You love it because of that. The music is amazing. You can listen to it over and over again. And I also think the story is something that many people who love theater are going to relate to. The whole, I want to run away and join the circus. If you have that at all in your blood, you're going to see this movie and literally run and go and join the circus, or whatever the circus is.
Please come back to Broadway soon.
I will come back to Broadway soon.
Do you promise? You'll do a musical this time?
That's what I'm working on right now. You ready?
We're ready. The Greatest Showman opens in theatres nationwide on December the 20th.
The Wolves is the off-Broadway play everyone is talking about. This Pulitzer finalist and debut work from playwright Sarah DeLapp explores the relationships between 9 members of a girls' soccer team. In The Wolves, the actors all wear green uniforms and no makeup and are only identified by their team numbers. But in this exclusive Broadway.com photo shoot with photographer Caitlin McNaney, the women got glammed up to pose for the camera. Meet The Wolves, now playing at Lincoln Center Theater, and see why it's the buzziest off-Broadway show of the year.
I'm Andy Walken, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Fox is following up the success of their Emmy-winning Grease Live with a holiday treat. A Christmas Story Live will bring the 2012 Broadway musical adaptation of the well-loved 1983 film to TV audiences, featuring a fantastic cast of favorites. We headed out to Hollywood to visit the Warner Brothers lot and get a peek at this year's must-watch holiday event.
It's an iconic and brilliantly written film that was turned into a lush and beautifully conceived musical, and now this hybrid is really a marrying of those two worlds. We're kind of really sort of creating something fresh here.
I'm thrilled to be a part of it because since they have been doing these on the various networks, I have been a fan and watching them and wanted to be in one so badly.
This is new. This is brand new. And it's not like Pippin in the 8th grade. It's real.
Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, the Tony and Oscar-winning songwriters of Dear Evan Hansen, La La Land, and the new film The Greatest Showman, were excited to revisit the score that earned them their first Tony Award nomination.
It's really exciting for us to get to look at it with fresh eyes and say, how could we make this story better? We got the opportunity to write a couple new songs. One of them that we're really excited about is we got to write a Hanukkah number. There's a character in A Christmas Story, one of Ralphie's best friends is named Schwartz. And, we always kind of were like, does he celebrate Hanukkah or does he celebrate Christmas? Probably Hanukkah with the last name of Schwartz.
I'm really excited to get to do the Hanukkah song. I'm so excited that it's a new song. I mean, that's a first for me to sit in a bungalow with Pasek and Paul and have them play a song. Like, we were thinking about this. What do you think? And how about this key? And it was pretty mind-blowing.
Like Grease Live, the production is spread across multiple sound stages on the lot.
We're going to go from one scene after finishing our music and our scene, and then we're going to go hop on a golf cart and we're going to zoom to the next set.
I'm in almost every single scene, so I'm constantly, sometimes literally running to the next set or getting in a golf cart. I have a bunch of costume changes. It's going to be very, very complicated.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong. So it's kind of fun to ride that wire.
One of the things we wanted to do was do one set that was 360. So the decision was we would take the house, which so much of the show takes place in, and we would create it so we could take cameras and literally take a camera and go all the way around.
We're actually shooting this like a movie, but we're shooting this the way when I was a child I thought movies were shot, which is someone said action and somehow everything just worked. And that's what's going to happen.
Matthew, the narrator, appears and disappears throughout the show telling the story, so things were built with that in mind. I have lots of secret passages and doorways. Come on through. This is a secret door, and that goes back into the living room. I have ways of entering scenes without you, hopefully, unless we mistime it, seeing me come out of a refrigerator. I hope that doesn't happen.
I play Miss Shields, which is Ralphie's teacher. She exists mostly in this young boy's fantasy life, which will remain PG for the viewers on Fox, but but not in my mind. This is Miss Shields' classroom. I'm not sure why there's an ironing board back there, but perhaps I am making my students learn home ec and how to iron. Or maybe it's just Miss Shields' personal clothes.
Yeah, that's my car. It's a 3-speed. It's a 1937 Oldsmobile. You've got a car that starts every other time. That's manual. I've got dogs and children to deal with. What could possibly go wrong?
After weeks of rehearsals and blocking, the cast of A Christmas Story Live seems ready to hit the airwaves.
I'm feeling very good about it. I have all my lines memorized and my songs choreographies. I mean, I'm a little tiny bit nervous, but not that nervous.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be nervous. The live part invigorates me, and it definitely gives me a shot of something that I sort of crave now that I have done it for so many years on SNL, but this is different.
It's a big machine, and I think the feeling that it could go awry and crash horribly is really visceral.
I'm going to be excited when it finally airs and people can see all of the work that we've done. I'm also interested to see if my 49-year-old self makes it through a 5.5-minute tap song and dance. That's a reason to watch live. See if she lives. She might not make it.
Watch A Christmas Story Live on Fox on December 17th.
Based on the hit film of the same name, Elf is the hilarious tale of Buddy, a young orphan who mistakenly crawls into Santa's bag of gifts and is transported back to the North Pole. When he learns he's a human being, the grown-up Buddy embarks on a journey to find his father. The stage musical of this fun holiday tale is now playing at Madison Square Garden with Eric Gratton in the lead role. We caught up with Gratton in his dressing room to get the scoop on why he loves being the center of attention in this Christmas comedy.
Hi, I'm Eric Gratton, playing Buddy the Elf at Madison Square Garden, now through December 29th. The best thing about playing Buddy is having to force yourself, if you're not in a great mood, to be in a great mood for 2 hours. And that 5 minutes into it, you're suddenly completely in a fantastic state of mind. I make an entrance and people start screaming, and they haven't seen me do anything yet, so it's not me, it's Buddy. They absolutely think of him as a member of the family. When the curtain comes down, you're still smiling, whether you were before it went up or not.
While Gratton gets to be a ham on stage as Buddy, he reveals why he loves sharing the stage with the whole company, including 6-time Emmy nominee George Wendt as Santa Claus.
Working with George Wendt has been really interesting because, I mean, he's been doing this at such a high level for decades, and I was talking to him about how I got into acting for the first time, and he had some really interesting things to say about the beginning of his time and how he started out improvising and didn't think of himself as an actor till he'd already been an actor for years. And it's wonderful to chat and hear the way he came up and the way he still approaches roles. Like, being on stage with him is such a pleasure because he is always 100% focused on you as his scene partner, and it's the easiest thing in the world to act with him. What I love most about doing Elf is the ability to, in the middle of a show, look over and see some of the best dancers in the world doing things at such a high level of energy and precision. Anything that is larger than life, is going to lend itself really well to a theatrical retelling of the movie version. So when you move from a frame of this big to a frame of 45, 50 feet, you want something that has, a big personality, a big physical presence moving around on that stage, and Elf has that from the beginning of the show to the end. It's all about heart and soul and love and family and candy, lots of candy.
When we return, Sean and Abigail Benson perform a song from their acclaimed musical 100 Days.
Hi, I'm John Lithgow, and my Broadway show Stories by Heart is the perfect holiday gift for any of your loved ones, your parents, your friends, even your second cousin Eddie, who you never know how to shop for. I have universal appeal.
Hello, I am Jane Krakowski, and you are watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome back. We are joined by the folk rock duo Abigail and Sean Benson, also known as the Bengsons, the creative minds behind the folk opera 100 Days. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Are you kidding? We're so happy to be here.
Well, thank you for coming in. I want to talk to you about your incredible show, 100 Days, playing at the New York Theater Workshop through December 31st.
That's right.
I just described it as a folk opera, but it has been called a concert-style memoir or a musical autobiography. In your own words, how would you describe your show, 100 Days, and what it's all about?
All right. Well,
what do you think?
I call it a theatrical concert.
Okay.
The whole stage we have a 6-person band. It's a family band. The whole challenge of theatricalizing this piece for us had to do with us loving how a band feels on stage and wanting to really utilize every little element of our band to tell the story. So from the sound, but also the gestures of musicians, and anything beyond that we hope is sort of a surprise that unfolds as the night goes on.
Right, and it all takes place in New York City, right?
That's right.
You've made a few changes to it, and how? So tell me, where it's set and who we meet in the show.
The story is the story of how we met and got married. We got married 3 weeks in. Just right away.
Yeah, love at first sight.
And it was
love
the
and
dream.
Crisis. Love and crisis.
Yes. And it was an amazing, but very sort of emotionally fraught few weeks. And so the show is sort of trying to go in and try to express how it felt to go through that. And basically the title 100 Days, it comes from this notion of when we met, we both sort of got really freaked out. Like I feel like we, for the first time, felt our own mortality and realized how very possible it is that like one of us could step in front of a bus tomorrow, or like the diagnosis could come. And we became very paralyzed with this fear. And so 100 Days is saying that like we would take however long we had and just try to live it as fully as we could and try to live a full life anyway in however much time we have together.
And the music in the show it's captivating. Where did this music come from, and how was it collaborating with your partner on this music? What inspired these songs?
We've written a lot together, and we have some other sort of shows in the hopper and stuff. This was sort of our crucible.
How was it going through the process of these are the right songs for this show?
What it comes down to for us always is, are we telling to the best of our ability the emotional truth of this moment? So we kind of try to get inside a song and think, is that really how it feels when you get terrible news, or when you meet someone you love, or when you you know, eat a great meal? Like, is this the song that for us best sort of captures that experience?
Well, it's unlike anything I've heard. I think it's very special, and I'm so excited that you guys are going to stick around and give us a treat of what people will be able to see in the show. And make sure you check out 100 Days at New York Theater Workshop. It is playing through December 31st. Enjoy the performance.
I see your hand by your side. I take your hand, bring you outside to see the glory of the lights over Astoria. Those pictures that you mounted by the door, I can't give you what you had before, but I can sing Gloria, the lights over Astoria. I know you are alone. I know you can't come home. Bells ring, angels rush in through the town, down the stair, in the cold and the chilly air. The bells are ringing, children are singing out of key, in debris, happy in the frost in the parking lot. The bells are ringing, children are singing welcome. Hey, 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 hey. I'll tell you about all the plans we've made. Oh, and the Thanksgiving Day parade, and all the glory of the lights over Astoria. Your papa's hearing aids slowly grow, and your brother's voice suddenly got low, and they've set a place for you. Everyone's come home to you, so you hold them all inside of your chest, the lonely and the blessed. The bells ring, angels rush into the town, down the stair, in the cold and the chilly air. The bells are ringing, children singing out of key, in debris, happy in the frost in the parking lot. The bells are ringing, children singing welcome.
We missed you so long, we missed you so long. Welcome home again. We missed you so long, we missed you so long.
So long.
Welcome home again.
We
so long. We missed you so long. Welcome home.
When we come back, we get a sneak peek at the Greatest Showman number, Come Alive.
Hi, I'm John Lithgow, and my Broadway show Stories by Heart is the perfect holiday gift for any of your loved ones, your parents, your friends, even your second cousin Eddie, who you never know how to shop for. I have universal appeal.
Hi, I'm Maya Rudolph, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Thank you for watching the Broadway.com show.
We leave you with a dazzling look at Come Alive from The Greatest Showman. We've both seen the film, and trust us, you don't want to miss it.
See you next week.